A 16-year-old schoolgirl has been rescued by the state from potential early and forced marriage in Kumasi.
The second-year senior high school student says her parents want her out of school to be married off to a Muslim cleric. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
We called the girl Zara in this report in order to protect her real identity. She was on the verge of joining hundreds or even thousands who have fallen victim to what many people consider retrogressive culture practice early in a marriage. The first-year student of a senior high school in Kumasi is, however, clear in mind she is not interested. The ceremony to bond her with a supposed husband had been scheduled for last Sunday.
He came to our house and told my mom that he loves me. He wants to marry me. He saw a lady at his school, so he wants to marry me. He did not tell me anything about the marriage. So he decided to go to our house and tell our mother that he saw a lady in his school. He wants to marry her. And all my mother and my father accepted.
The Department of Children under the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Protection got wind of it and moved in to intervene.
Once it's go to court, it's to be treated as a criminal case, and then what the law says, what they will be charged with. No, we are not allowed to give a child into early marriage. It's a crime, and there is a penalty for that. But it's because it's a family issue. In case they decide, okay, fine, we said that we are giving our child to, it has not taken place, then we are withdrawing it. We make sure that the child is not given out to marry at that tender age. Then the court will decide what to do.
Zara was kept at the Kumasi Children Home for 3 days to enable her continue her end-of-term exams till the end of the week. She was later taken away to Obuasi by her uncle, who is vehemently against the parents' decision to marry her off. Her friends in school are surprised about the development.
The face that I saw her, she was very sad, and I asked her what's the problem. She said nothing. So the next day, I saw her crying. Then I said, what is the problem? Then she told her father is forcing her to marry a man she don't want to marry. Then I said that, oh, is this the problem? Then she said that. Then I said that, so what should you do? Then she said that she don't know what will do. So she's waiting for her sister to come so that she will tell her sister.
School authorities say the state intervention is timely to halt what could have a truncation of Zara's aspiration to become a broadcaster. Though she is now back home with her parents who have been unavailable for comments, Zara is unsure about the future. In fact, she would rather they are not interviewed on the issue at all. Officials of the Child Department say they are closely monitoring to ensure the girl is free to continue schooling. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.
The Supreme Court has ordered government to release its agreement with the United States government that saw Ghana accepting to host 2 ex-Guantanamo Bay detainees in the country.
This was after 2 citizens, Margaret Bamfo and Henry Nana Boakye, sued the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice together with the Minister of Interior, accusing President John Mahama of illegally bringing in the 2 without recourse to the loss of the land. There's more in the following report.
The 2 former inmates, Mahmoud Umar Mohammed bin Atef and Khalid Mohammed Salih Al-Darbi, were transferred to Ghana on January 6 as part of the U.S. President Barack Obama's resolve to close down the Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. News about their arrival sparked public outrage by many Ghanaians who feared their presence could attract terror attacks. It was also argued they pose a threat to national security. This was, however, challenged by government officials who said the 2 are in no position to cause any harm. 2 citizens, Margaret Bamfo and Henry Nana Boakye, on January 20, sued, insisting the former Gitmo detainees were admitted into the country in contravention of the laws of Ghana. They are seeking, among other reliefs, a declaration that on the true and proper interpretation of Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution, President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, acted unconstitutionally by agreeing to the transfer. Counsel for the two had insisted government needed to present the agreement to them and for it to be admitted in court, but the Attorney General disagreed, maintaining that releasing the information could undermine national security. The AG also argued that the agreement was cut by the State Secrets Act, an argument rejected by the court. The court also limited the distribution of the document to only the lawyers in the matter. Speaking to Joy News after the ruling, lawyer for the applicants Nana Eji Bafo Erua described it as a victory for democracy.
We brought an application to say that the instant matter, the Attorney General had a particular document which for us was of relevant or was necessary in the determination of the suit, and therefore the Supreme Court should order them to produce it. The Attorney General first and foremost formed the view that the suit was brought by us and we are supposed to win or lose on the strength of our case, first and foremost. Secondly, the evidence was one which, if disclosed, would infringe on the State Secrecy Act. And thirdly, the fact that there were other preliminary issues to be determined by the court, for which the court hasn't, and therefore the Supreme Court should not disclose. We argue that, first and foremost, to the extent that the agreement has not been seen or disclosed, it is difficult to accept that it infringes upon the State Secrecy Act. And secondly, per the rules of evidence and practice in this jurisdiction, it is not the case that if you have evidence that will be helpful to the other side's case, you will hold on to it and say that go and win or lose on the strength of your case. And we believe that it was in the interest of justice that the agreement was produced.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has dismissed a suit challenging the legality of a government agreement with a Turkish company to provide Ghana with a 250 megawatts power ship.
Although the court deferred stating its reasons for the judgment, it was unanimous that the car power deal did not need parliamentary approval. The Member of Parliament for New Jamming South, Mark Esibe-Yeboah, filed the petition asking the Supreme Court to determine the constitutionality of the Attorney General's position that the deal with the Electricity Company of Ghana did not need parliamentary approval. Per the agreement, car power ship was to build an emergency power barge for the Electricity Company of Ghana to ease the power challenges currently being experienced in the country. MP for Futu Afenyo Marking, who represented the New Jamming South Member of Parliament on June 23, filed a suit after he claimed all effort to get the government to send the car power agreement to Parliament for scrutiny had failed.
Now, the minority in Parliament is also accusing government of dishonesty in the data submitted to the International Monetary Fund for the release of the third tranche of funds under its 3-year extended credit agreement with Ghana.
The data, according to the group, will form the basis for a third review to decide whether Ghana gets the $114 million.
Minority spokesperson on finance, Dr. Anthony Akoto-Osei, who addressed a news conference in Parliament on Thursday, says the fund has requested reconciliation of the figures provided by government before the assessment can be done. Joy News is learning passage of the amendments to the Bank of Ghana Act and the Public Financial Management Bill currently before Parliament are amongst the set of conditions government is supposed to meet for a favorable review in August. Dr. Anthony Akoto-Osei wants government to come clean on the issues.
What is significant is that the IMF, after coming to Ghana, invited government delegation to come and reconcile data. I'll use their words, reconcile. I will not say misrepresent facts. Now, those of us who worked with the IMF, when they start talking about data reconciliation, you have to be worried.
The minority is also warning passage of the 1.8 billion cedi supplementary budget currently before Parliament will significantly reduce government spending on social services and pension. Dr. Akoto-Osei told the media the money being requested by government will be used to retire some foreign debts.
The John Mahama-led NDC government has failed us. And in this supplementary budget, he cannot save us. In fact, if you ask what this supplementary budget was all about, there's only one thing. Government is cutting back on social services, pension, other things, to go and borrow money to retire our foreign debt that is not due till next year. That is essentially what is happening. There's something called amortization. If you look in the estimates, 2 billion. But they are going to borrow the money to retire it, perhaps even at a higher interest rate. That is what the budget was about.
Some youth in Achimota in the eastern region on Thursday set fire to a house in the town over the killing of a popular taxi driver in the community.
The youth are said to have touched the house because they believe it harbored the perpetrators of the murder. The taxi driver in question, according to eyewitness accounts, was hired by the assailant to take them to Oda New Town. They believe he was then sent to the house and murdered for rituals, as they say the assailant did not take the money of him and also left the taxi behind. Some youth in Oda Zongo who suspect the caretaker of the house as an accomplice then charged on the property and set it on fire. It took the police with the support of soldiers from the Achiasi Jungle base to stop the youth from causing further damage to the property. Police have started investigations.
And we continue with our Citizen Journalist report under the Joy News and Star Ghana project, Poverty and Politics.
Well, the last time you heard of Apesika, it was about their terrible roads. Nana Iya Edusi Pokuya, citizen journalist from Apesika in the Bono-Ahafo region, is this time reporting on the inadequate water supply to the community and the call on government to solve the problem.
Water, they say, is life, but the residents of Apesika in the Kintampo South District are battling with life's necessity. Residents in the Bono-Ahafo region town waste productive areas in long queues for drips of water. Boreholes in the predominant farming community do not match up with the population of the town. Lydia Amua is the public relations officer for the Queen Mother. She is concerned about the inadequate water supply at Apesika.
My appeal is about the inadequate supply of water in this town. We do not have enough water. We have only 3 boreholes, and the water is not clean. There are a lot of people who stay in this community. The ones we have here are the manually pumped boreholes. We want standpipes. It's too tiring operating the boreholes. We want standpipes with faucets. The water we have here always gets polluted after heavy rains, and health experts say it's not safe to drink. If you go to the borehole for water in the morning, you will come back in the evening. The queue is too long. We are compelled to drink the polluted one, which causes sickness.
Another resident describes the scene.
The borehole here is not enough. It is always a chaotic scene when we go to get water. Majority of the people here are the aged, but we are compelled to use our last strength to pump the water. We need government to get us more standpipes. We spend long hours waiting in queues to get water. We need standpipes and polytanks. Majority of the people here are old and weak. We need more standpipes.
Old men and women in Apesika are complaining. They are unable to pump water from the borehole because they are weak.
We are struggling with the water situation. We spend the whole day there. We do not even get water to cook for our husbands. People fight there every day. We need the water. We can no longer pump the water. We are weak.
Committee chairman is calling on government to come to their aid.
My
name is Charles. I'm the unit committee chairman. It is true what the women are saying about the water situation here. The assembly and unit committee members have to bear the brunt of government's inaction. The boreholes drilled by government is not enough to serve the community. It is worrying when we always have to adjudicate over matters regarding fights at the boreholes. We are calling on government for standpipes and reservoirs. This will make it faster for the women to get the water. We have been to the district assembly several times to call on them to save the situation, but all to no avail. Our DC left office without fixing the problem.
This is a Citizen Journalist report by Nana Ya Edusi Pokuya with support from Star Ghana.
Great. And we are the professionals. We're in the studio.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I love these reports, though. They tell you what the stories are really on the ground. And I love also the fact that the people telling the stories are living the stories themselves.
Yeah, that's how great the whole initiative with Star Ghana is. But just in case you want to watch us on other platforms as well, for DSTV, please make sure that you tune into the channel 421 and on GoTV 144. Great. DSTV 421 and GoTV 144.
You're watching the AM show. When we come back, we've got the newspapers. We'll touch base with a few of the online portals as well. And of course, your messages always welcome. 0560 800,000. That's on WhatsApp. And Joy News on TV on Facebook.
We'll be right back.